Is everything proceeding as planned, Tichondrius? Lord Archimon demands a report.
War Chief, we've been trudging through this wasteland for a week with nothing to fight but centaur.
Power should be mine.
Hear me, Night Elves. The time for reckoning has come.
Hey guys, Churchy here. So in this video, I want to talk a little bit about Warcraft 3 Reforged. I've been playing it quite a bit. I was really excited for its launch. Warcraft 3 was one of my favorite games growing up, so I was really keen to get my hands on this and just sink my teeth into it, which I have done somewhat. I've finished the first 4 campaigns, and I gotta say, like, there's good and bad. I'll start talking about the good stuff that I like and that I've been enjoying, and then I'll get into a lot of the bad stuff. So first up, I would just have to say that it is, look, it's really pretty. For the most part, a lot of the textures and new models are really detailed and look really awesome. And some of the new effects and stuff look pretty cool.
Now, Frostmourne.
There is a couple of things that look a little bit weird, like I don't quite like the waterfalls. They look a bit plasticky or something. They don't look like water, in my opinion. And also there's a few troubles with some animations and stuff, which I'll get into in a bit. But yeah, so they look really awesome. Another thing I would say is, which is just part of why I wanted to play through it again, I held off playing through the original game because I knew this was coming out and I was looking forward to it and everything. But anyway, what I was going to say is part of the nostalgia is sort of part of what I've been really enjoying about it. It's been just a massive nostalgia trip playing through all the campaigns again, and I'm really looking forward to continuing to do that and playing through the Frozen Throne campaigns. And I'm also really excited to get to the Rexar campaign because I've never actually finished that. But anyway, so that's the other side of the really good parts is, yeah, so it's really pretty and it's a nice nostalgia trip. Now, here's where it starts to get into the kind of the bad side. So first up, I'll kind of say that, in my opinion, it doesn't really feel like a remaster. It just feels like a pretty reskin. And I think that's a massive problem, especially because of how they've advertised it. It's come across as being advertised as, you know, this like the nice new cutscenes and stuff. They some of it was actually misleading. Like I've seen footage online of what was in sort of trailer material and stuff, and then you see what's in the actual game, and it doesn't compare to what they actually advertised. I know some cutscenes have been redone, and some of them seem to be a little bit better, but I sort of think part of that might just be as well the new models and textures and everything make it look better. But they went a completely different, like they didn't put in as much work as it looked like they were saying they were, is sort of what I'm getting at. And some of the cinematics are maybe at a higher resolution, but other than that, they haven't changed. But I wasn't really expecting to change those because they're really awesome anyway. And now here's where it gets even worse. So I've experienced quite a few bugs, and these are like old bugs and new sort of. The new ones is the main problem. Like these are, well, they're both problems, but anyway, let me get into it. So I've experienced bugs with characters having no voice lines when they should have voice lines. Just none of their voice lines like during gameplay triggering, like when you click on them. Like I had that with Arthas. He had no voice lines when I did the human campaign. And basically then I had an issue in that same campaign, which was pretty funny, where during a cutscene, Muradin just walked out of the frame and just wandered off while he was meant to be standing next to Arthas having a conversation. So that was pretty funny. Another issue, which was actually no lip sync during a conversation, was Thrall. He was meant to be talking with Grom, but no lip sync was triggering, so he was just standing there motionless, nothing going on. Another side of this as well is missing effects. So I've had the Blade Storm just spinning the character model when I was playing as Grom, and no sort of motion lines indicating what's going on. So the model's just spinning and you're sort of like, wait, what am I hitting? What's going on? And then the other one I had, which I actually had tonight, was while I was trying to do Tranquility on the Furion, like in the last mission, basically he wasn't triggering any animation and it was just making the effect on all his teammates. And then I think once or twice I accidentally clicked and moved him because I couldn't quite tell whether, like, it made it harder to tell what was going on because there was less visual feedback basically. But again, they're sort of annoying. And then the old issues, and I'll get to why I'm bringing all this up in a minute, but anyway, the old issues that I've sort of found is just some of the really horrendous pathing in the game. Like the horrendous siege engine pathing, that's still a thing. And also sometimes certain abilities that should autocast, just not wanting to autocast, like the Crypt Fiend's web ability. I remember having trouble with the original game with that sometimes, and it's still a thing. Like they still sometimes just get in this mood where they don't want to cast it unless you manually tell them to. And basically the reason that I am mentioning all this is that it's a $44 AUD, that is for me, advertised as a $44 remaster or $40 remaster, and it's still got all these bugs and issues from the original game. It's introduced a bunch of new issues, and it's not a remaster, it's a reskin. And not only that, the other weird, really just what makes it feel even weirder is that Blizzard, at least in my mind, at least until recently, I've always felt like they've been known for their polish and how polished their games are. So it just feels really weird playing a game with bugs and stuff in it that have been introduced, and they're the kind of bugs that you would think would be fixed in an alpha or something. Like, not even beta. It's things like just animations and stuff not triggering, which would be an easy fix. You just have to run through the content and then make sure that it's actually triggering. So basically, and then this is sort of where it gets even worse again, to be honest. They've done some really, really shitty stuff with the terms of service, which I just really don't agree with, and I think is a gross attempt at just trying to claim copyright. But basically they've wrote this broad strokes, very kind of comprehensive copyrights claim thing in their terms of service that basically says anything you make with the map editor is now property of Blizzard and you can't profit off it. Anything, they get all of the IP basically. And so if you made some cool custom game, so that's the origins of Dota. Like Dota used to be a Warcraft 3 custom map, and I think before that there was like a StarCraft version going way back, but that and then became its own game and everything, obviously. But basically this is Blizzard trying to, like, if that was in place, they would own Dota basically. So they're obviously salty about that, but that they didn't get to sort of get Dota, you know. But anyway, it's just a crock of shit. Like, I don't think it would hold up in court or anything. It's like if someone basically said pretty much, it's as if you were like, say you were a paint company and then you sold paint to a customer and then they made an artwork and sold it for $1 million. It would be like you claiming that artwork was yours and you get the money, because it's the same thing. The map editor is a tool. It's a creative tool. It's not the creation itself. So but just even the fact, like I said, I don't think it would hold up in court or anything, but even the fact that they tried to pull some shit like this on top of all the other crap they've done is just really, really shitty. And then also I think they've like done some stuff that's sort of damaged the original client. I may get into that more in a later video, perhaps, if I do more videos about this, but basically they've limited people's ability to use the old one as well as they could, is sort of what I've gathered from a few things online, which is just, again, really, really, really shitty. And it's just really annoying. Like, so that, and another thing, I think, before I finish up on my rant that I'm having, basically, I think another thing, like, yes, I know it's a different company and a different game, but when you've just had a remaster come out a few months back, which was Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, now that was a proper remaster. that added a bunch of quality of life features. It added some cool new graphic things that happens, like the destructible buildings and all that. It is a really, really freaking good remaster, and I really, really like that game. So then I think coming from a remaster like that, and then especially then to put it in context, as well as like putting that in context with what Blizzard advertised and how they marketed this Reforged, and then you get it, and it's basically just a reskin with some occasionally a slightly fancier cutscene, but nowhere near to the extent that they advertised. And you can't help but feel very, very disappointed and kind of disheartened about the whole thing, because the first night I played, man, I was so excited. I was like, yeah, this is pretty damn cool. Like, I'm getting into it, blah, blah, blah. But then I think part of that was just the nostalgia of wanting to play Warcraft 3 again and having held off for so long because I was waiting for Reforged to come out. And like I said, now I'm at this state where it's basically just a very pretty reskinned nostalgia trip and not a whole lot else. And anything else it has done has sort of damaged it overall. So yeah, basically, to summarize, I would pretty much just say that I am having a lot of fun playing it. And I will continue to play it and play through the campaigns at least, then probably try out some custom games and see what actually happens in that area. But I think it's going to be very damaged because of their shitty terms of service stuff. They've put new bugs in, old bugs and old issues are still in the game, which just makes it feel more like a reskin. I don't think it's worth $40. I think it's worth like 15 or 20 AUD at most. And yeah, the terms of service is crap. And it's basically just, if you wanted a proper remaster, I would honestly say just steer clear. Wait and see if they update it. I think that's the one thing they can do to try and fix a lot of this, is just wait and see if they update it a bit, fix a few things, maybe change a few more things, and actually make it more of a true remaster. I highly doubt they will, but I'll wait and see. And then I'd say maybe just wait and see if it goes on sale and then grab it if you can get it for like $20 or something. But yeah, so this has just been some talking points I wanted to talk about, and now I have, so got that all out there. So I'm gonna keep on playing and stuff, but yeah, thank you for watching. That's the end of this video. Have a good day or night, whichever it may be, and I'll see you later.